this is Janine Ebling from Nurturing Motherhood. In this video I'd like to show you a few different positions you can use for breastfeeding. We're all familiar with the cradle or cross-cradle position that we see many mums out and about using, but I'd like to talk you through laid-back breastfeeding, sometimes called biological nurturing, the Rugby hold position, and the Koala Hold, and also how to feed lying down. Some of these particular positions may be useful to you if you're having a particular struggle with breastfeeding, so I'll talk you through those now. First position is called laid-back breastfeeding, or sometimes known as biological nurturing. You need to get yourself comfortable in a semi-reclining position, not flat on your back but slightly propped up. It can be a very comfortable, very restful position. This opens up space for your baby, and much of your baby's weight is resting on your body. So the baby is stable and secure, and their instinctive feeding reflexes, where their head bobs about, are triggered. They'll try and find the breast by bobbing their head up and down. Gravity helps them to attach and helps them to stay latched on. You have your hands free, and it can be a great position for the early days where rest is important and you might be too sore to sit upright on your bottom, and laying down is more comfortable. It's also good for feeding more than one baby. The cradle hold or cross cradle hold is one of the most commonly used feeding positions, but it can be quite tricky to learn. It does give you more control over guiding baby towards the breast, but it can put some strain on your arms and wrists. If you swap to cradling your baby once you have them latched on, it can save your wrists getting sore. Try and position your baby so that your nipple falls to about their nose or even their eye level. You want to tuck their bottom under your armpit and hold it there with your arm, and then your nipple should fall roughly to their nose, and then as they look up, they reach up, lift up their chin and open their mouth. They will be just at the right height to latch on and get a good mouthful of breast as well as the nipple. Avoid holding baby's head directly. You want your palm of your hand between baby's shoulder blades as you bring them to the breast, and then bring your arm round to cradle the baby so you can release your other arm. The rugby ball hold is where baby is positioned at your side under your arm. It can be very good for after a caesarean because it keeps baby's weight off your wound. It's also good for people with flat or inverted nipples or large breasts. It gives you a good view of the breast and a good control of baby's head. You'll notice I've put an extra cushion behind my back so I'm sitting further forward on my seat. This gives baby's body the length it needs so that they don't push with their feet and bring themselves too far forward. You need quite a lot of space behind your back. Having a feeding cushion or a pillow along your side for baby's weight to rest on is also useful in the rugby hold. The rugby ball hold can be very useful if you need to feed more than one baby. Perhaps you have twins or you're tandem feeding with an older baby. It's always helpful, if possible, to have another pair of hands to hand you a second small baby, but you'll learn it is possible to bring a second baby to the breast with one hand, or an older baby will be more capable of getting to the breast themselves. Unlike I've done in this video, it's probably actually sensible to bring the smallest, the youngest, the least able baby to the breast and get them latched on first, and then the more capable baby comes second. The koala hold, or upright seated position, is where baby basically is sitting upright on your lap and their legs straddle your thigh. This can be really useful for babies who are a little refluxy or they're struggling with a very fast flow of milk. It's also useful if you've got quite flat nipples and enables baby to get a really good mouthful and a deep latch. If you're quite short like me, this might be tricky because you may not have the length in your torso for baby to sit on your lap and be at the right level. If this is the case, use the angled koala hold where baby is as upright as possible but at a diagonal across your lap. Learning to breastfeed lying down can be an absolute lifesaver, especially if your baby feeds an awful lot at night time. It's a good position if you've had a caesarean and you're recovering, or if you've got very sore stitches and don't want to be sitting up. It may take a while to learn the knack, but it's definitely worth persisting for the benefits it brings. Combined with safe co-sleeping, it may be what gets you through the early weeks. To feed your baby laying down, lay yourself on your bed on your side with the breast that you want to feed the baby from lowermost. Bring your baby towards you so that they're laying on their side and their nose is level with your breast. If you have large breasts, you might find it helpful to fold up a blanket or a towel so you have several layers, which lifts up your torso and your breast so that as you bring your baby towards you, they're at the right level for your nipple to latch on. If your baby feeds like this at night time, you can quite happily doze or even sleep as they feed, and once they're finished you can allow the baby to roll onto their back to position them safely for sleeping themselves, and you can settle back to sleep as well, as long as you follow the safe sleep guidelines and form that protective C shape around your baby. At first you are likely to spend a lot of time feeding your baby, so setting up a feeding station so you have everything you need within reach is a really good idea. A little coffee table or a tray or a basket that you can move around easily to different locations is perfect. You'll probably want to include items like a glass of water or a water bottle with a spout. You'll want some healthy snacks to keep you going, maybe some dried fruit and nuts or a snack bar of some sort. Your phone, maybe your phone charger, a muslin for wiping up any spillages and some tissues, remote control for your TV, any nipple cream that you're using or paracetamol or medication that you might need to take. I always like to have some lip balm to hand. You might want a feeding pillow within reach and an extra cushion that can go behind you if you need that. Maybe some breast pads, all sorts of things that you might like to have to hand. I hope those suggestions were useful. If you have any further questions, it's always good to seek out a qualified breastfeeding specialist, either someone recommended by your maternity unit or an international board certified lactation consultant who is very highly trained in breastfeeding and will be excellent at supporting you with your particular struggles. Hope that's helpful.